Hey everybody, Sean here, Boosted Miata, and this is the Akaso V50 Elite action camera. This is basically a GoPro knockoff. These are selling like hotcakes on Amazon. It's been out for maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 months now. People really like it, so I'm going to check it out. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a head-to-head comparison against my old trusty Hero4. This is my GoPro Hero4. I bought this thing brand new 6 years ago, and it's my workhorse. I use it for all my video work, everything I do. This is my go-to camera, and we're going to do a head-to-head. So come on, let's check it out. Look at this. Look at all the stuff you get with this Akaso V50 Elite. It's a pretty complete package you get. You pretty much have everything you could want for this camera, starting with this dual battery charger. The camera comes with 2 batteries. One's already in the Akaso right now, but you also get this nice little dual charger. You get the action cam case. This is a waterproof case, comes with a hard back, and also comes with this open back, so you have access to the back of the camera. You have these GoPro style clip mounts. These come with 3M sticky tape on there. This one comes with a 1/4-20 tripod mount thread, which is a nice little feature to have. Plus it comes with, of course, the 2 GoPro style foot mounts. And then look at all the other mounts you get. So you get these different angles on these GoPro style action cam mounts. Here you have some that will connect to 1/4-20 tripods. This one has a 1/4-20 thread stud sticking out. This one accepts a 1/4-20, so you could stick this right onto a tripod. And the reason they have that is because the Akaso has a 1/4-20 threaded mount on the bottom, which is something that the GoPros don't even have. And I think that is an excellent feature, and it's really something that's missed, I think, on GoPros. Then you've got this handlebar mount. There's a tether. It's a solid cable tether with additional sticky mounts from 3M. A really interesting accessory, one that I'm curious if it really works, is this watch-style remote. And I think this should prove to be interesting. You can also do voice commands with it. It has like a little microphone there, so you can talk to your Akaso V50 and tell it to turn on, to record, to stop recording. So we're going to test that out in a bit. Look at all those accessories with this camera. Pretty amazing. So a closer look at the Akaso V50 Elite. So one of the first things you're going to notice is that this camera is almost identical in form factor to an old style GoPro. I mean, they're within millimeters of each other in terms of size. Of course, the only difference is that there's no screen on the back of this GoPro, but they're really similar. The other thing you'll notice on the Akaso is it has this rubberized coating, which is really nice. Very grippy, so if your hands are sweaty and wet, you're not going to drop this very easily. Looking at it a little closer, we find the SD slot, micro SD slot right here. We've also got a micro USB for power, and we've also got a micro HDMI out. On this side, we have selection buttons, up and down buttons. Here is the shutter button, also a selection button, mode button. And then power button here. On the bottom, that is where the battery compartment is. These are roughly 1,000 milliamp batteries, probably good for about an hour of use. Haven't really tested them yet. And then, of course, you've got that wonderful 1/4-20 threaded tripod connector, which is nice. The only downside maybe is this battery compartment. It'd be nicer if it was on the side. Being on the bottom is a drag. That's how the old GoPros are as well. And it's always kind of a drag to have to pull your camera off its mount to replace the battery. Here, we'll go ahead and fire the camera up. Flip it around, and there's that screen. Outdoors, it can be tough to see it in bright sunlight. You may need to shade it a little bit. Here it shows the battery. You've got zoom function here. You've got mic function if your mic is on or off. You're in camera mode here. We're in video mode. This is a review videos and photos. Down here is your settings. That'll take you into the settings menu. And then here you have your quick settings. So you have video, which we're in. You have time-lapse video. You have slow motion video. You have your photo mode, and you have your time-lapse photo mode. And then you have quick access to your Wi-Fi. When you're in Wi-Fi mode, the screen is disabled, and you have to use your app to see what the camera's seeing. You can also turn on Wi-Fi by long pressing the top button, and it'll put you into Wi-Fi mode that way as well. So let's just take a really quick look at the menu. I'm not going to do a real deep dive. There's a lot in here, but we'll just quickly go through some of the key things. So let's go into video, and we'll go into video resolution and look at that. So you have 4K 60 frames per second, 4K 30 frames per second. Now in the 4K mode, you only get image stabilization at 30 frames per second. And in the 2.7K mode, you only get image stabilization in the 30 frames per second. We'll scroll down. You've got 1080p, 120 frames per second, 1080p 60 frames per second, 1080p 30. And then you have 720p at 240, so that would be super slow-mo. 720 at 120 frames per second, and then you've got 720 at 60 frames per second. Now, depending on what video resolution you have selected, it may turn off some other options. So we'll just select 4K 30 frames. And we can see we have a video encoder mode, so you can select between H.264 and H.265. We've got image stabilization. We've got loop recording, time-lapse interval recording. So you have fast motion movie, which would speed up the video. You have noise reduction. You have angle, so this would be your field of view. There's no super view on this Akaso. You just have wide, medium, and narrow. You have sound record, so you can turn off sound recording if you want. Drive mode actually turns the Akaso into kind of a dash cam. So when you apply power through the USB power connector, the camera will turn on and begin recording. And when the power turns off, the camera will turn off and stop recording. So you could hook up the power supply to like your lighter in your car, your lighter socket, or some kind of 12-volt socket, and it would activate your camera just like a dash cam. Then you have video scene mode. So these are presets for various conditions like underwater, writing, winter, diving. Diving would actually add a red filter. Night mode. So that's a real quick look at the menu on the Akaso. You can access some of this stuff through the app. The problem with the Akaso app is it won't give you access to everything that you can get through the built-in menu on the camera itself. In my opinion, the app is only good if you want to use it as a remote viewfinder to start and stop the camera. But beyond that, it's not very good. In fact, it won't even allow you to go full screen on your smartphone. It kind of stays in a portrait mode. So it's not very good. I wouldn't recommend the app. You really just need to get used to using the built-in menu on the camera to access all its features. So that's the quick look at the Akaso. So what I want to do now is load up my video samples and we'll take a look at those. Super view on the GoPro and 4K 30 frames per second on the Akaso. It's 24 frames per second on the GoPro here. And I think this is an important comparison. Now the Akaso has the image stabilization on, but the GoPro, because it's my Hero4, which is nearly 6 years old, and it's a workhorse, I use this camera all the time, it probably doesn't look as smooth. But I have a sneaking suspicion the image is going to look pretty good. Also, this is a good time to test the microphones to see how they're working. I've got a lot of wind, so there's definitely going to be wind noise here. But I think this is a good environment to actually test it and just see what kind of quality comes through even with the noise of the wind. Traffic. I didn't even think about this. Holiday weekend. A little bit of traffic coming into town. I didn't even think about that. Oh well. Audio test with the Akaso here. I've got a foam filter on the camera to help with wind noise. The biggest issue here, of course, is the car is so loud and we're outdoors that you get all sorts of environmental noise, engine noise, etc. So I'm doing about 30 miles an hour. It should sound okay. I know on the GoPro I get pretty decent audio at low speeds if there's no wind, if I have the camera out of the wind. This is getting a bit of wind, I can tell, I can feel it. Section of roadway here is the former Highway 1. This is known as double slide. As you can see, it's literally cut in the back there. And having it fall into the water, portions of the roadway break off and fall into the water every few years. There was one time when it was closed for, gosh, I guess it was pretty much a year it was shut down. So what am my final thoughts on the Akaso V50 Elite Action Cam? Well, I gotta say, for everything you get, all these accessories, and a pretty versatile action cam with a nice big screen on the back, image stabilization, I gotta say, it's actually a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good camera. Now, having said that, what about the image quality? Because it really all comes down to image quality for me. And I gotta say that I think my old GoPro Hero4 Black actually produces a better video image, just overall, than this Akaso. However, the Akaso does have image stabilization. It does have a lot of versatility. It has that dash cam mode. It's got this nice rear screen, touch screen. So I gotta say, this is a pretty decent camera, and I would definitely recommend this camera. No, it is not better than a GoPro. If you wanna get a GoPro, because it's gonna be a better camera, especially the newer GoPros. Definitely gonna be a better camera. But if you just want a basic action cam, this is a cheap investment, $140 for all this. And if you do get a GoPro later, these accessories can be used with your GoPro. So that's pretty cool. It's a good backup camera as well if you need an additional camera for some multi-camera shoots or something that you're doing. I think it's worth getting. So yeah, I would definitely recommend the V50 Akaso Elite. I think it's pretty cool. It's good value for the money. So there you go, guys. Do you have this camera? Would you buy this camera? Why don't you leave a comment down below? I'd love to hear from you. But thanks a lot, guys. That's it. That's my review. And I appreciate you checking it out. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye. So the Akaso comes with this wristwatch style remote that you put on your wrist. And I've already paired it to the camera. It's pretty easy to do. You just go into the Bluetooth setting in the camera and pair them up. Now it uses voice commands, so we're gonna see if we can activate this. Action, start video. And there you go. That worked. See if we can get it to stop. Action, stop recording. Action, stop camera. Action, stop shooting. Okay, well I can't get it to stop, but I got it to start, which is good.